How much is the retirement income from $2 million? That's what we'll be talking about in this video. I'm going to take you through 3 different scenarios and make sure you stay tuned to the end. Hi, I'm Camille Gaines. Here and on my website, retirecertain.com, I write about and I talk about our income stream adventure over the past 15 years, investing in slightly alternative investments and also doing things that are usually ignored in mainstream financial planning so that we could achieve financial independence later in life. I want to give you 3 different scenarios for retirement income from $2 million. The very first scenario we're going to look at is the traditional retirement plan to withdraw money from your investment accounts. I'm not crazy about the withdrawal method. I've done other videos on that, but that's the most common method for retirement planning. And in this particular example, we'll use 3%. That withdrawal method may be 3%, 4%, sometimes it's 2%. And the way that works is you simply withdraw money from your account and you spend it in order to live. And it's about 2 to 4% a year, and that's adjusted for inflation annually. So in this case, we're going to look at 3%. So if you withdrew 3% of $2 million, that's about $60,000 a year, which is about $5,000 a month before you pay any taxes on that money if they are owed. They may not be. And also you may have some investment fees that are related to your retirement account. So that's sort of a consideration there. But this is the most popular way to pay for retirement living. I do want to point out it's not really income though, right? Unless your investment account is generating income that is over the amount that you're withdrawing. And that's not always the case now because interest rates are so low. The next method we're going to look at is actual income off of your investment accounts. In this case, we're going to look at about a 3% stock yield, and we're also going to look at about a 2% bond yield for a diversified portfolio. Stocks are not necessarily yielding about 3%. That may be something that could be achieved. For example, the S&P 500 is yielding under 2% now. I think it's about 1.6, 1.7% as of this recording. It's not unusual for the S&P 500 to yield about 1.8 or maybe even 2%. So 3% is a little bit high, but then we also have stocks like AT&T that are currently yielding around 6% or a little bit higher right now. So if we put some higher yielding stocks in there, it might be possible to come up with that 3% dividend yield, and I think it would with some effort. So we're going to use that for our example, and we're going to say 2% for bond income, which is a bit of a stretch, but we'll be optimistic. Let's just say that that retirement portfolio was invested in about half stocks and about half bonds. Please don't think I'm suggesting that. I'm not. But for simplicity and this example, and because that is how a lot of people, at least in the past, invested for retirement, we're going to use that for this example and say that that would generate about 2.5% income a year from that investment portfolio. That equates to about $40,000 income a year, or about $3,333 a month income. And remember, that's before any taxes are paid on that interest income and on those stock dividends. The third scenario we're going to look at is that $2 million invested in alternative and traditional investments. Let's look at a couple of examples or several examples of this so you can see what I'm talking about. So someone might put together a portfolio of higher yielding stocks. For example, I mentioned that AT&T was yielding over 6%. There are other stocks certainly that are yielding 3, 4, 5, 6% and higher. While these stocks do have a higher perceived risk and or a higher risk, in fact, a diversified portfolio may work well for someone that is looking to increase their income from stock dividends. There are even financial advisors that specialize in putting together a portfolio of dividend stocks. For example, I read about a financial advisor a few years ago that puts together a portfolio of diversified stocks that yields about 5%, and I think that's very doable. And then she hoped to get another about 3% growth for her clients over time. So I know that there are financial advisors that do have expertise in this and focus on that. In fact, if you happen to be one, make sure you leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. All right, another type of investment, alternative investment, that would provide a higher yield than that 2% or 2.5% or that 3% withdrawal, would provide more income or more money, would be something like real estate rentals. You may even be able to look at 8%, 10% or higher, simply because real estate properties can be bought with leverage. Another example of an alternative investment that would have a higher yield is small business, online business specifically. You may have heard me talk about this in my other videos, but small online businesses offer an incredible opportunity. For example, just today I looked at a small online business that was yielding or paying about $4,100 a month, and that was income. I shouldn't say paying, I should say it was generating that much income. $4,100 a month. That was the net income, not the revenue, the net income after expenses. And expenses were very minimal, as they can be with an online business. The business itself cost $154,000. The annual income then would be about $49,200. If we divide that by the cost of the business of $154,000, we get a yield of 32%. You can see how much higher that is than a dividend or interest from your investments. And while online business is a little bit riskier, I'm not 100% sure that for someone that really knows what they're doing, or they hire a consultant or someone to help them pick out an online business, and they have a team that helps run the online business and or knows how to hire a team to do it, I'm not sure that it is really that risky. Alternatively, for someone that just wouldn't want to put something like $100,000 or even $50,000 into buying an online business, you can start an online business for under $25 now. While it takes a while to build it up, and it does take time, effort, and learning how to do this, it is certainly a doable endeavor to increase the income, and it would allow someone to diversify between something that's more traditional with something that's more alternative to increase that income on that $2 million portfolio, really without using any capital at all. Other investors like to lend as an alternative way to bring in extra income. Lending can be done either in the small business space or in the real estate space. That can be done online now, as well as privately, locally. That is not something that I'm personally doing, and here I tend to talk about things that I'm doing myself, and I am doing the other things that I've talked about other than the retirement withdrawals. We have created a diversified portfolio that has both income from stocks as well as alternative investments in rental real estate and online business. So you can get the income up from a $2 million portfolio. These are some strategies. If you like this information, make sure you watch this video next.